Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spirit Guide Chat. My name is Jake. Thank you for everyone who's new here. And also, if you're returning, thank you for coming back. I was on a hiatus for a couple weeks because I was on vacation last week. I went down to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I do that every year. And the week prior, I just needed to get some things done in preparation for the trip. So I appreciate everyone's patience here. As always, a lot going on. Without further ado, one last thing is if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Uh, Also, leave any comments. I appreciate that, as well as pay attention to the community section of the channel because I do give everyone an opportunity to ask questions for that week. I'm going to try to be more regular on posting in that area to give you an opportunity to ask questions on current events. And that's what I do here every week. I do cover, if you're new here, cover current event questions. So I'm going to fix the camera here. So let's get started. Right now, the orange one is in China with she. And I just want, first of all, let's just comment about the ridiculousness that nobody, no dignitary, senior dignitary, Xi, or anybody else came to greet Trump there when he arrived. So that's telling. What's also telling about Xi, which is interesting, I knew about this several years ago, but he was educated, I think, in Australia as well as the United States, and he chooses not to speak English to Trump. There's other foreign dignitaries that know how to speak English very well and speak to him in English out of respect, but he chooses not to, which is interesting because to me those are little slights in showing respect towards Trump, to the United States in general. And I'm not saying, and totally not that by all means by saying this does not mean I'm a fan of China um, government, the leaders, but it just shows what people think about our current administration. Okay. So, what I wanted to ask Spirit is, will after this meeting, will China think that they're ahead of the game compared to the United States? Will Xi think that? Let's just see how the thoughts of Xi after this meeting with Trump. Let's see what Spirit says on that. Ooh, let's do that again. I thought a card was going to pop out, but it didn't. Xi, what his thoughts after the talks with Trump. All right. Oh, this one's already was faced up. So, there's just stuff coming out from underneath the surface. Things that they kind of suspected. What I'm feeling from Spirit with this Moon card. What's the challenge right now is the Hangman crossing this. So it's basically a standstill. They're not moving, budging with the United States right now with what's going on because based on things that's coming out. The orange one is notorious of telling on himself. Okay, so just today, I was listening to him giving a speech in front of dignitaries in China about how Chinese restaurants are one of the top restaurants in the United States. I'm like, what are we doing here? What are we trying to say about us? So there's some kind of hidden agenda here at the base of this reading that they have. In the recent past, there's power. They know something suddenly has changed in Trump in what's going on. They've seen progress for themselves for sure here in the near future. Um, what I'm getting with the Queen of Cups here in the near future, what they're feeling, I feel like they're trying to be the stable ones here in the talks, showing that. hey, we got ourselves together kind of thing. And they view this right now as a positive sign for themselves compared to the United States. There's some planning coming from the outside. They have plans, they're planning. There is some kind of nostalgia in the hopes and fears. They kind of, even despite us being totally different, China does want to make money. They do want to be successful for themselves. So they kind of miss having that normal relationship with the United States. So and there's a lot of soul searching coming out from this. And yeah, they're celebrating after this. They think in with the Three of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles here, they think they got it together. They feel like they got it in the bag in the right now. They're leading in the world stage after meeting with this meeting with Trump. So yeah, it's not kind of a surprise, but and what I'm getting is the feeling is that they feel that there's a downward turn in the United States for once. So all right. It's been a while. I mean, like it's been a couple of weeks. I want to check in with the midterm elections, since primaries have begun. I know Indiana had theirs. That's where I'm at, Indiana, and I did early voting before I left. Um, and I'm not saying I haven't even asked the question. I'm not going to count that one. But what I want to see is first, will the Dems take control of the House after the midterms? Will the Dems take control of the House after the midterms? Dems take control of the House after midterms. Good. We have Two of Cups. I think there is people working together. I feel like this is the Dems and Independents that are coming together. The Justice is on the side. Because there's a lot of unfairness going on. This is the blocking of people coming together, but there's strength coming in with these two sides. In the past, there was difficult decisions, not knowing how to move forward with the Two of Swords. But there's this surprise that's happening with the Page of Cups, which is people are realizing the lies. The downturn has taken a toll, especially on their pocketbooks, and people are working together. They're hoping for in the near future. It's not a hope and fear, excuse me. In the near future, what's going to happen is this transition to leave what we've been doing behind. Again, working together with the Lovers card. They had to cover the naughty bits here. And from the outside, there's a lot of work being done to ensure that the message, the Dems' message, is coming across, and fundraising and things like that. The hopes and fears is a new opportunity, especially financially, with the Ace of Pentacles. And the outcome card is that the Eight of Swords, which typically means that there is some kind of self-imposed restriction. Um, but what I'm feeling is that there is also going to be, which the next card was coming up, the Seven of Swords, that there is going to be some fishy business, but in the end, the World card's going to happen, and there's going to be an ending in a new of a cycle and a new beginning, meaning that the Dems are going to win. And why I say it about the trickery, I said in a previous reading that the Republicans are going to fight back results. There's also going to be they're also going to delay seating the new Congress and try to do that, and they're going to have to. Dems are going to have to fight in regards to, and I'm not saying literally, but legally in the regard to that. So let's look at the Senate here. Let's look at the Senate. If the Dems will take control of the Senate after the midterm, will the midterm election results show that the Dems will be taking the majority? of the Senate. So people are going to, the hangman, there is going to be a delay. Like I said, with Congress, it's not just going to be one house, it's going to be both houses. There's going to be kind of a standstill here. So, there's somebody, the King of Cups. There's going to be some kind of leader that's going to lead the charges. It's not going to be Schumer. It's going to be somebody else that's going to be helping the Dems. With the obstacle is the Eight of Wands, which again is talking about the the slowdown, because Eight of Wands upright tends to be fast moving and whatnot. So we're talking about the opposite. People are just frustrated at how slow things are going, with change. They're wanting a new beginning with the Fool card. The In the past, and it's probably the current, but in the recent past, this is what the realization, what I just mentioned with when I was talking about the house, the financial losses and the Five of Pentacles. And here's Trump crowning this. People are going to look at things a little differently. Like the house, you're talking about your own district versus a statewide office like the Senate. What's in the near future is looking for somebody that's more disciplined and will be focused on financial well-being. There is teamwork within the Senate with the candidates that are running for Senate compared to the House. It's a much smaller group, so therefore there's more collaboration going on. There is money going into the Senate races with the Ten of Pentacles here, in the hopes and fears. They're hoping for Knight of Cups that policies candidates are going to be proposing policies that the people will want and need. And this is a yes. And this the biggest thing why. And this is interesting now that we're getting closer to the election in November. Words, Jake. um, People are focusing on the financial aspect, and that's why the Senate is in play and will flip to the Democrats. Yeah, people are using their head over the heart with the King of Swords. All right. Next, speaking about money, ugh, the Defense Spending Act from the Department of Defense, not War. They're asking for, it's just insane, 1.5 trillion with the trillion dollars increase. We can't afford healthcare, but we can afford this, right? Um, so let's see what it wasn't going to. It's not going to pass under normal way. So they're trying to do it through reconciliation. So let's see if they will be successful. They, as in the Republicans, will be successful in passing that defense spending through the reconciliation, the $1.5 trillion, an increase for the Department of Defense. And I guarantee you, some of that, because the contractors, the defense contractors, I'm sure the people in the administration invest in those companies. I'm sure they are friends, they are donors. So, Spirit, let's see if that spending increase will be done through reconciliation. Will that go through? Okay, so this is the ask, the Nine of Pentacles. The ask is the money here. The obstacle is the Ten of Pentacles, the dark side of wealth. What I just said about insider trading, personal gain, wealth gain. There's going to be some kind of breakthrough with the Ace of Swords. I think with it being an election year, midterm election year, this is going. Some people are want to say we need to cut this a little bit because I'm in a close election. That's what I'm getting. I'm worried about me voting for this? Can we cut it some because it make it more palatable? Uh, I mean, the Nine of Pentacles, this is representing the luxuries of insider trading. A lot of people in the administration, in Congress, they're making money off of these decisions, and because nobody's stopping them, nobody's there to stop them. Two of Swords, not knowing how there's a deadlock because again, there's a lot of Republicans, a good chunk of Republicans, I should rephrase that I'm feeling are not supportive of this amount. There's going to be the lovers cards. There's going to be some working together. I'm getting that some of them are going to vote with the Democrats against this bill, and this is confirming this with the Three of Cups coming together. From the outside, people are thinking about the Six of Cups. You know how things used to be and whatnot. The hope is abundance with the Empress card, right? And it's saying this is not being fruitful. So with the Seven of Pentacles, I'm thinking this is going to be a no. However, with the caveat, what I'm feeling is that it's not going to be that amount. They're going to have to negotiate a smaller amount. That and I believe I said that before, and it's confirming again that it's going to be a smaller amount, but it will eventually pass through reconciliation. Oh, right. Next, the Hantavirus, however you want to pronounce it. Um, you have that cruise ship, and I say cruise ship because it's a very small ship compared to like a Carnival, a Royal Caribbean cruise ship, where the cruise ship was very small, a small one with a few hundred people, and they've gone back to their home country, including, I believe, one or two. Is it two that came from the United States? I don't remember, but um, mm, some of them are in isolation. Some of them are just um, under observation for a little while. So let's take a look. Will this become a pandemic? I know a lot of people, all of us out there have our memories of the coronavirus. So, I mean, people are worried, which is understandable that and this is not the same. Just for one thing, one of the things is they're aware of this virus for a while now. I think the report I've heard reporting it's been about a decade they've known about this virus. It's not like the corona where we kind of had no idea about, not kind of, we really didn't really have much idea about it. So let's see if this will be a pandemic. Okay. Um, the Knight of Cups is the beginning. Is proposals, things like that, of keeping. I just feel the protection. There's already things being put in place. What's the obstacles? The Nine of Wands. It's people are on edge. I just said that. That's not surprising. Going back to 2020, we're only talking about 6 years ago, less than 10 years. So we have that. They're forging ahead with the Ace of Wands, with communication, also putting in protocols to maintain and treat it. Um, in the past, we had the King of Pentacles, security, um, and then the Ten of Cups is crowning this reading. This is people right now. They're worried, but they're not. They're content with how things are going right now. But I don't think we're getting all the information, especially here with the Seven of Swords. There's some kind of not telling the full story, what's going on, and why? Because of the Devil card here. There's just they don't want to see that we may be lacking of things. there's opportunities, choices going on the outside environment, other countries that are dealing with it. In the hopes and fears, it's the Ace of Swords, new ideas how to treat it, um, and and contain it. Um, the Justice card. This is the cause and effect that there's going to be balance and fairness. And there's going to be medicines that are going to come out with the Seven of Pentacles, or Six of Pentacles, excuse me, for this. There's going to be treatment. So I feel like there is, with the Justice card, that there is a balance going to happen, meaning that it's not going to be widespread. It will be contained to certain regions of the world. It may be the United States too, but it's just going to be contained in certain areas. It's not going to be widespread. That's what I'm feeling. But unfortunately, we're not hearing everything, the full story. So moving on. Other news, former Vice President Kamala Harris has talked about releasing the Democrat 2024 autopsy. That it's time that we face the facts and the truths, and in preparation for well, maybe even the midterms in 2028. So I have a question about whether this autopsy is going to be revealed. Oop, to the public? Will it also, and a follow up question in a moment. So, Spirit, will the 2024 Democratic autopsy report on the 2024 election, will that get released to the public? Will we hear what's in that report um, soon? The Democrat autopsy, is that coming out soon? Yeah. Okay. Ace of Wands. There's a call for this report to come out. The Hermit cards crossing this. Um, there is resignation about doing this. Of course, not surprising because they haven't released it in a way. The Dems are searching for a purpose. They want to look at this report with the Seven of Cups. They feel, which I mentioned before, the trickery that happened in the 2024 election. This will be help. They want some breakthroughs with the Ace of Swords. There is strength behind this in the near future. I would say this is Kamala Harris, the Queen of Wands, leading the push to get this release. Um, they this is viewing that the Queen of Cups. People are viewing this as she's caring about what happened and how to move forward. In the hopes and fears, their fears about things that are coming out from the surface. And it is, yes, they're working on it. They're working on how much to release. That's what I'm getting. And this is their stand by doing this, the Nine of Wands. Okay, so there's that. So what my next follow-up question is in this report to see if, and this may be one of the reasons, I'm not saying it's the only or it's the reason, but I want to know if there's spirit, if there is in the report, that autopsy report, is there information about this possible discrepancy in the 2024 election within that report? Do the Dems have information that shows or even shows a possibility that there was something going on with indiscrepancies in the election results? Oh, two cards came out. Um, Illusions, Seven of Cups, and I'm not for sure with I'm not going to count this because I'm not for sure if it was upside. To be honest, I don't know what if the 10 of cups, or excuse me, the 9 of cups. I can't even read right now. 9 of cups was upside down when I picked it up or not. So I want to say it was. So they're just some kind of not happy with something that's shown. So let's see the full spread here though. Let's see what the full spread says. What do they show some kind of discrepancy or possibility of the discrepancy in the election results in that report? So the institutions of our government, the hierophant. What's the challenge here is the Knight of Pentacles. Uh, they feel stuck right now because they do want the government to work like it's supposed to be, but in some ways they don't know how to fix it per se. They want to be the Queen of Pentacles as the foundation of the reading. They want to be nurturing. They don't want to scare people. What I'm feeling is like they don't want to scare people with this report. They want to release. There are a good chunk of people that want to release it. It's just that they don't want to go to extremes with it. They've been actually working hard on this in the background in the recent past with the Ten of Wands, but there is going to be light shed with the Sun card on this. There are people working together with the Two of Cups in the near future about bringing this out, and they're feeling this is going to bring hope with the Star card. From the outside, this is going to bring balance back with the Temperance. This is like giving and receiving of money. That's what I think and this is what I've said in the past. I think the hope is they're going to show where about the possible discrepancy in election is due to the money trail. They're seeing that there's a trail of giving and receiving of money to individuals. But it's not going to, the report itself, what I'm getting is the Five of Cups. It's not going to shout out that this is the proof, this is the proof. It's just going to, what I'm getting is that there is some crumbs that are showing it. But this is probably why it's not being released or hasn't been released yet, because it's not enough. It's not enough to directly show that. So they're kind of stuck with the Eight of Swords. They've been contemplating on it, but there is going to be something that's coming. The Ace of Cups. So a lot. It's going to be very emotional. So I think this is why that they've been waiting, because they've been gathering information. So, and it's the money, money, money. They're following the money, right? Uh, okay, the last thing we're going to do before where are we in time? Okay, been chit chatty. I haven't been on for 2 weeks. I've been chit chatty, chatty Kathy. Um, I will be coming out back on every Thursday. I know I didn't say that, but those of you who watch, you know I do. I will be doing it on a regular cadence. It'll it'll be a few months before my next vacation. So, anyways, Trump check. Let's check on seeing how he's going to do from now to the end of June. Let's see let's do a check-in with him, Spirit. President Trump. Sorry, my cards have flipped on me. Let's see. What's going to happen with Trump from now till end of June of this year? Yeah, there's going to be some kind of bird. It's going to be he's. What I'm feeling is just a health thing. They're going to give him medicine because he's on the struggle bus. They're adjusting his medicine. Um, He's really been struggling. So let's take a look at the full spread here. Up. And I just mixed these up. Here we go. 10 of Wands. The struggle bus, like I said. And this is delaying what he wants to do with the Hangman crossing this, the 10 of Wands. Yeah, there's a doctor being involved with the Knight of Cups proposing a new treatment plan. And here's Trump in the past as the Emperor, and there is movement to get this treatment. They're like, you can't wait on this. It's dealing with this cardiac problems that's coming up soon. There'll probably be some kind of surgery or something with his heart. Their hope this is going to help him and bring some new hope. But there's something going to happen from the outside. People are seeing this as a transition, leaving. Um, you know, uh, hopes and fears. They're hoping with the Page of Pentacles that this is going to help. Um, the Six of Cups is the outcome card, feeling nostalgia for what used to be. But there's going to be a lot of worry, especially about Russia here. It's being involved. Russia's being involved. The Eight of Cups leaving behind, and then some kind of actions taking place. So what I'm seeing here is that Trump is seriously ill. There might be a possibility of talks about him leaving too, and that's where the Russia's getting involved and things like that for whatever transition. So here's hoping. Oh, I had a discussion with uh, Lori from if you don't follow Lori, the way of positive change. Um, she's such a wonderful person, and I was saying that with even when the orange one leaves, it's like it's a lot. We're still going to be dealing with the mess when us whoever takes his place, and even after that in 2028, probably for over the next decade. You know, it's sad. It's sad. But with the bad comes good. That's how we get changes and things that we probably should have changed a long time ago. Um, General message from Spirit. I brung these out to bring something lighter, and it's again very springy. I love these cards. Love the imagery of these cards. It's called Work Your Light Oracle Cards by Rebecca Campbell, right here. Uh, so yeah, let's take a look. What message do we have? And what I do normally with these cards is that I'll do three and then I'll expand out until I feel the story is done, the message is done from Spirit. So, uh, hey, Spirit's telling us, excuse me, Spirit is telling us to share your voice. Come out of the cave, speak your voice. And this doesn't mean necessarily shouting out on social media. It can be talking with people, going with your loved ones, calling, texting. What's triggering you? The mirror. Look at ourselves and figure out what you are being triggered by. And priestess, how is this going to help you lead? This doesn't mean you have to be in an official leadership post or post in an organization or stuff. It's just being a leader in your family, being a leader and speaking up, hearing your voice. Um, where are you being called to journey to? This is a lot. What so far? It's a lot of self reflection, right? Um, uh, and take that lead. Don't be afraid of sharing your voice or speaking. And I apologize too because that message popped up. I knew it, Helen. I knew. The ever unfolding rose cracked open. Um, It's happening for you and not you. I love this card, and I had to read it from the card because I didn't want to screw it up. So again, cracked open, it's happening for you, not to you. We're all going through this rough time, and of course, it's affecting us differently. But it's we chose to be down here for a reason, to help make the changes that are needed, not only for us, but for the community around you. I'm going to do three more cards. Um, Council of Light. Remember reaching out to your spirit team. All of us have spirit guides and guardian angels. The number always differs for everybody else. I know I haven't talked about this lately, but talk to them. They're there to help. Ask them for help. Ask them for protection. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You're already doing, and this is what I was about to say, stop overthinking. Keep it simple with this about what to do. And and then do what lights you up. Shine your light. Don't let the negativity out there. There's so much darkness out there, but there's also a lot of light, especially within us. And don't let all that negativity dim that light. Okay? Shine it brightly. All right. Thank you, everyone that stayed to the very end. And again, please subscribe and pay attention to the posts in the community area. Leave questions for me to answer in future readings. Until then, thanks, everyone. Bye bye.